The Federation is an organization that is started by the school boards of all the schools in the Protestant Reformed circles. It's not a teacher organization, it's strictly a school board group.
The work of the Federation is a unifying of all of the different schools, societies, and their boards to try to find areas in common that they can help with.
The work of the Federation is quite varied. It does very small things like put together salary schedules so that schools can compare what their salary schedule is to other schools in the membership. We put together a prospective teacher list so that schools are able to see who's coming up the teacher pipeline. Schools also work on curriculum. We've put together writing curriculum in the past. We have a host of different manuals that the Federation has put together throughout its history.
Then there was several summer seminars, and I think the teachers said, we've got to have some seminars on things that we really teach. We don't teach about, those things in long historical past. Let's do something on literature. Literature always seemed to be kind of a problem where parents would say, what do we need to teach literature for? Then there was the summer week-long mini courses, and the one I think that is outstanding is the one that produced the booklet, Reformed Education. David Engelsma was the main teacher and speaker at that, and I would say that was the most outstanding mini course that we had. And it was one that resulted in this booklet.
An example of some of the work that the Federation has done in the past is they've put together different manuals, they've put together different curriculums, like a writing curriculum and an art curriculum that our schools have found beneficial. But I really think the focus needs to, moving forward in the future, the focus should be on teacher training and helping our schools do a better job once the teachers are there of helping them to become better teachers, how to apply the Protestant Reformed principles into the classroom.
But more importantly, the Federation is set up to provide teacher training for our teachers. Our teachers do not get training to be Protestant Reformed teachers in the colleges or the universities they attend. So it's incumbent upon the Federation to be the vehicle to provide this training. The history of the Federation is quite rich. It's an old history. The Federation actually began December 7, 1956. And on that day, 3 schools got together to discuss the needs that they had in common. And those needs at that time were, first, they needed to procure teachers that were suitable for their schools. And secondly, they had a need to see teachers grow and develop in the Reformed aspects of education. At that time, there was nothing in place, so they got together to discuss those needs. Over time, those 3 schools turned into the 15 or 16 member schools that we have today.
One of the big challenges of the Federation is creating this cohesive unit that all of the schools within our denomination feel a part of the Federation, that they have a voice. And I really commend the Federation in the past few years. They've done that because they've given the ability for schools out in Randolph or Redlands or Loveland or Linden to be able to participate in the delegate board meetings through Skyping, through video conferencing. As a TED committee member, I've been able to join the meetings through video conferencing, and so I see that the Federation is working on that challenge, and we're pushing that challenge aside.
There are some challenges that the Federation has and always has. Some of these challenges we've overcome, some still exist. For example, we are a group of school board members, and school board members are already very busy. Their time is devoted to their individual schools, and it's a challenge for us to get these school board members to work on additional items outside of what they're already responsible to do in their own school situation. The second challenge that the Federation faces is the lack of continuity that it has in its organization. That's really inherent in how it's set up. In order for an organization to be successful, you need to have a consistency. You need to have a vision that carries forward. And with a constant turnover, it can be difficult to see that happen.
Well, I think one of the challenges in the past for the Federation was the matter of how do we get teachers involved? How do we get them to believe that I teach at a school called Adams, Hope, Covenant Christian High School, and you name them today? How do we get teachers involved in seeing that the Federation is a significant part of the things that they do as a teacher in one of those schools that says we're a Federation school?
Historically, one of the main goals of the Federation has always been to try to help its teachers and train them, not taking the place of the college, but helping them once they graduate from college and get into the classroom. What can the Federation do to help them become a better teacher from a Reformed perspective, bringing in Protestant Reformed principles into their classroom management, and learning how to interact with parents and students.
One of the important things was that the board felt and believed correctly that the teachers who came out of Calvin College, and most of them did not have the kind of life view and world and life view that they would like the teachers to take with them into the classroom.
For the future, the work of the Federation isn't going to change dramatically from what it is doing, but there's going to be a refocus on certain aspects of its work. I think we're always going to bring salary schedules to the table. We're going to have a prospective teacher list, but the Federation really needs to focus on teacher training, and we're doing that. We have a teacher training committee that's been set up, and that is where this organization needs to focus its resources.
I think it's important that the work of the Federation in regards to doing some teacher training work would be that it's portable, that it's something that can be used in a small school, maybe out west, but can also be used in a larger school in Michigan or Indiana or Iowa, so that it benefits everyone, whether they're a staff of 5 or 4 or 3 teachers, or whether they're a staff of 20, 25, 30 teachers, that the product will be beneficial to every single school that's part of the society, to every single teacher. And for those schools who maybe don't have as many resources to pull from even within their own community, that the work that's being done by the Federation can benefit them.
I think our continued concern has to be on the world and life view, particularly with respect to the ideology or the ideology, the discipline. By the discipline, I don't mean how you discipline kids as far as their behavior is concerned, but discipline them in the courses that they're taking and their goals. What are going to be the goals of those that are in education? I think that's a huge challenge. And the purpose for which they're coming and the methods. And I think that's one of the things that this book, I think, would provide. And I think that schools should say to teachers somehow, and should probably perhaps use the book somehow to make or cause teachers actually to think about these issues.
There's so much work that the Federation could be doing, but it doesn't have the time or the resources to accomplish.
So I think one of the things that has to happen is that as far as challenges in the past, which will be also challenges in the future, how are we going to acquire the funds if we have the things that we think are going to be the correct challenge to pursue? How are we going to get that? I think we're past, there are certain things we're past. That is, I mean, we're over 60 years old today, and there are certain things that are past. I don't believe that education with a Reformed perspective is good enough for us all. It has to be a Reformed perspective that is distinctive, specific. And if we can't draw it down to certain kinds of specifics so that you could say, that's unique, that's something we hadn't thought about, and it's more, it is the covenant, but it's even more than that.